The 2026 Nissan GT-R R35 bursts upon the scene like a turbocharged storm, a far-future evolution of the Godzilla legend that blends raw, uncompromising performance with cutting-edge technology and visceral emotion, all wrapped in a body sculpted both by wind tunnels and dreams. Imagine the hood lengthened slightly, its contours more pronounced, the signature bulge over the twin turbochargers now flanked by twin air extractors forged of exposed carbon fiber, sharp enough to slice through standing still, and the front fascia reworked into a menacing maw with splitters that open and close with speed, active flaps that adjust the downforce dynamically, and razor-thin matrix LED headlights that flicker alive in patterns signaling the mood. Approach with respect and they glow in a low-browed, predatory snarl. Floor the throttle and they flare wide, etched with hundreds of micro-LED segments that adapt to night or day, glare or low light, throwing light where needed and hiding shadows where a car of this mythos revels. The sides of the car are muscular with flared wheel arches housing wheels forged of titanium alloy, lightweight yet unbreakable, 21-inch at the rear, 20-inch up front, wrapped in bespoke ultra-sticky rubber compounds designed jointly by Nissan and a Japanese tire artisan, compound that changes grip characteristics when heated, and behind them brakes that are enormous carbon ceramic Brembo units with 6 piston calipers up front, 4 in the rear, capable of bringing this beast to a halt from 3 digits in mph in mere seconds, the brake pads glowing like embers under heavy deceleration, vented rotors etched with cooling channels that sing in wind and heat. The rear of the car is a celebration of aerodynamics and attitude, an active wing that rises at speed, a diffuser that shifts and channels airflow, quad exhaust tips that growl like wolves, with active exhaust valves that open under load to liberate raw tone, yet remain hushed at idle or when entering parking garages, stealth mode engaged, respecting neighbors. Every surface is a choice between weight and strength, body panels of aluminum magnesium alloys, roof and trunk lid of forged carbon fiber, side mirrors with camera pods in place of bulbs, underbody panels designed to smooth airflow, reduce lift, manage cooling, managed by airflow sensors and micro actuators so that the car adjusts to road, weather, altitude. Beneath all that sits an engine that is both evolution and revolution. The tried-and-true VR38 DETT twin-turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 has been reforged in fire, with enhanced turbos that incorporate electric spooling assist, hybridized turbo bearings, titanium internals, strengthened crankshaft, new forged pistons that can take knock, intercoolers the size of dinner plates but cooled by ambient ducts in a thermally optimized coolant loop, with a mild hybrid system that adds torque fill under spool lag, energy recovery under braking, and allows short-duration pure electric creep, plus cylinder deactivation under light loads so the car can conserve fuel when idling in traffic, albeit with an emotional burble that hints at apocalypse, delivering speculated peak outputs in the neighborhood of 780 to 820 horsepower and 720–760 pound-feet of torque, or more. If you opt for the Ultra Overboost maps torque arriving ferociously from low in the rev range, the car launching like a catapult, 0 to 60 mph in sub 2.7 seconds, quarter mile in low tens, top speed approaching or perhaps breaking 215 miles per hour, limited or untethered depending on trim, with aerodynamic aids, active front splitter, rear wing, underfloor diffuser, rear diffuser venting, holding it planted, resisting lift, enabling high-speed stability where lesser cars would flutter or drift. Steering is hydraulic assist blended with electric fine control, giving weight, feedback, stability in curves yet compliance at low speed, an updated dual-clutch 6-speed gearbox, or is it dual-clutch 7-speed in the Nismo variant? With lightning-fast shifts, paddles behind the wheel, launch control with multi-step build-up tires, temperature, rev floor torque vectoring all-wheel drive that can send more than 90% of torque to the rear for drift bias, or shift to 4-wheel grip for acceleration or wet conditions, with modes, comfort, sport, track, drift, rain, snow, plus a custom user program mode where driver can dial in shift timing, steering feel, which turbos overboost, exhaust note, even change how the all-wheel drive splits torque dynamically, activation thresholds for ESP, ABS, etc., down to fine grain. Inside, the cabin is both sanctuary and cockpit, a place where every surface is touched by high-quality materials, every control a statement. Seats are deep-hugging multi-contour buckets wrapped in a blend of Alcantara and leather, with contrast stitching, heating, cooling, massage zones, memory, carbon fiber seat backs, steering wheel flat-bottomed for racing cues, grips of Alcantara, paddle shifters magnesium, a row of physical toggles for drive mode, exhaust mode, aero. The dash is dominated by a wide, Reconfigurable OLED display 12-14 inches behind it, digital instrument cluster with repurposed heritage cues, redline graphics reminiscent of heritage Nissan tack needles, plus a holographic head-up display projecting speed, gear, turn prompts, shift lights onto the windshield with augmented reality overlays for track racing or driver assistance, lane lines, warnings. The center console houses touchscreen infotainment system with curved OLED or even micro LED, offers navigation with map rendering of road cam output, telemetry mode giving lap timer, boost pressure, oil temp, G-force, tire temp, plus over-the-air updates that not only update maps but can unlock power maps, adjust performance settings, send firmware fixes, remap turbos. Connectivity includes built-in 5G cellular, Wi-Fi hotspot, wireless charging pads, USB-C everywhere, high-quality sound system, either Bose or an optional bespoke system with 16 to 20 speakers, immersive surround, capable of producing concert hall fidelity but also brutal feedback through low bass in sport or track mode, multi-zone climate control, glass roof option tinted, electrochromic ambient lighting zones adjustable by color, temperature, brightness, materials open pore wood, brushed aluminum, carbon fiber trims, metal knurled switches, stitched leather surfaces, soft touch where needed, durability everywhere, sound dampening and insulation tuned for comfort at highway speed, yet with some chassis, engine, exhaust crackle allowed when desired. Driver assistance, safety, and electronics are equally futuristic. Sensors everywhere, lidar, radar, ultrasonic, cameras, making possible semi-autonomous highway driving, hands-off assist, adaptive cruise with curve anticipation, lane keeping, automatic emergency braking, intersection collision avoidance, night vision camera, thermal imaging, heads-up display to highlight pedestrians, animals, blind spot monitors, rear cross traffic alert, parking assist with 360-degree camera, sensors in corners, automatic braking if something moves and warning systems, stability control essentially configurable, with partial disable for track or drift, ABS, ESP, traction control all intelligent, learning user style. Body structure uses high-strength steel, aluminum, magnesium, carbon composite reinforcements, crumple zones, side intrusion beam, rollover protection, tires with sensors, pressure monitoring, temperature monitoring, even optical wear detection via micro cameras, adaptive suspension with magnetorological dampers are similar, active anti-roll bars, ride height adjustment, raise for speed bumps, drop for downforce or clearance at speed, exhaust that switches valves, active engine mounts for vibration suppression at idle but firm at load, sound cancellation systems in stealth mode, but in full attack mode, let every intake whoosh, every turbo spool, every mechanical detail be heard and felt. Performance numbers in this fiction are breathtaking. Sub 2.7 seconds to 60 miles per hour. Quarter mile in maybe 10.2 seconds, top speed in excess of 215 to 220 mph in the aerodynamically optimized Nismo GT-R Special Edition, lateral grip in high G corners rivaling lightweight supercars, braking from 100 to 0 mph in under 3.0 seconds, skid pad grades high, Nürburgring time rumored but unverified in the MID 7-minute range, perhaps 725 to 735, depending on tires and conditions, yet despite this, highway cruising is surprisingly refined, engine silenced to a nearly serene purr, wind noise minimized, cabin calm, ride compliant in comfort, adaptive suspension soaking up expansion joints, chassis isolation, noise insulation, yet still connected enough that the driver feels road texture, steering feedback so they know what is happening, never feeling like a powerless slab. Visually, the styling isn't merely functional but emotional. Colors offered beyond standard black, white, red, custom shades with pearlescent and color-shifting pigments, deep, shadow violet, that shifts tones in sun, meteor gray, with flecks of silver, aurora blue, that plays in the light contrast roof options, carbon fiber hood trunk, aerodynamic kits optional, side skirts, mirror caps, rear diffuser, spoiler options, wheels in finishes matte black, silver, bronze, with custom-colored calipers, lighting signatures, DRLs that animate, taillights that pulse briefly unlock, exhaust flashes when downshifting, interior lighting zones that wake up as you open doors, logo projection on pavement. Heritage is respected. The GT-R badge, lineage cues, rings of the brake rotors painted red as homage to early R32 R34 models, triple round tail lights reimagined, interior stitching pattern borrowed from the classic models, sound note tuned to evoke the turbo whistle of yesteryear but with new tech. Driving modes, multi-mode system with at least 7 major settings, Comfort, Eco, Sport, Sport Plus, Track, Drift, Rain. In Eco mode, cylinder deactivation, mild hybrid assist, low exhaust tone, minimal aero drag, gearing shift for efficiency. In Sport, sharper throttle response, stiffer suspension, louder exhaust, more aggressive downshifts. Sport Plus ratchets things up. Track opens every valve, flattens suspension, rear aero deployed, torque bias dynamic, shift lights active, launch control enabled, drift relaxes limits, reduces stability control, more rear torque, rain or wet moderates everything, more grip assist, perhaps reduces turbo boost to avoid spin. A custom user mode allows tuning each parameter. Driver can adjust throttle mapping, shift speed, steering weight, suspension stiffness, aero deployment thresholds, exhaust tone, even decide whether hybrid assist kicks in aggressiveness or invisibility. The experience of owning and living with this imagined 2026 GT-R R35 is as much about emotion as metrics, starting it in the morning teeth-grinding growl or silent refinement, sending it down country roads with precision, corners leaned into with lateral G's flattening you against the seat, the rush of boost, the surge, then dropping into an open highway where the car becomes calm, the hum of engines, the whisper of wind, the bones vibrate just a little to remind you of what you are driving, yet the interior cocooning you, the infotainment streaming music, navigation guiding through twisty passes, the compliance over potholes, the respect of neighbors in stealth mode, the drama on the track, the flash of the car under sun, the smells of burnt rubber yet the smell of leather and new car details inside, the pride in detail from stitching to badge, the weight of the steering wheel in your hands, every shift, every downshift double blip, every sound, every weight transfer, every glance in the rearview mirror catching that silhouette. Price in this fantasy is astronomical but purposeful. The base 2026 GT-R R35 starts where many high-end performance cars do, escalating steeply into the Nismo Special Edition trims, with options for bespoke custom paint, aero kits, interior personalization, performance packages. Maintenance comes with modern diagnostics, over-the-air updates, premium service, but also a sense of exclusivity, limited edition runs, perhaps numbered GT-R special heritage versions for collectors. Ownership is more than transport, it's statement, it's history, it's visceral joy fused with technological wizardry. In total, the 2026 GT-R R35 in this vision is not just a car, it is a fusion of myth and machine, where past, present, and future converge, offering brutal acceleration, mechanical soul, design poetry, technological sophistication, emotional resonance, luxury and terror in harmony, a car that, once you drive it, you never see anything else quite the same again.